evening. I started to say thank you for all of you that being here for the last presentation for today. My name is Namiti Jitangsan. I'm the principal of the Satipana School, a private school in Thailand. Today we will talk about the difference of 7 habits of highly effective people to enhance teacher leadership via lesson study process. That the process that I will talk today that is we use like a lesson study to promote the soft skill to start with the teacher. That the topic for today we will talk about like a school background, the 7 habit concept, the short concept about that, the journey of the PRC and LSU Satipana School, research objective, methodology and the result. Satipana School is have the student from pre-kindergarten until high school level. That means have the student in the school from 2 years old until 18 years old. That is very wrong. And we have like the number of the students is 944 students with the 22 teachers. That the school philosophy is start to develop the student for the whole child development from prepare the student to the 21st century. That the key success of our school that we don't focus only the result of the admission in the university, but we monitor the student until they are like 30 years old and can work in the real world with a good job and a happy life. The Satipana School is qualified as the first leadership lighthouse school in Thailand and that the first local leadership lighthouse school in Southeast Asia from accredited by the Frank Covey from US. Have you been ever read this book before? Who have you been? Because this is the concept of the 7 habits of highly effective people that start from this book. This book is a worldwide bestseller and translated like 38 languages in the world. And who will want to be the leader or that you have the position is the boss from your organization. You have to pass like a course to be like a 7 habit course before you can do into your position. That for our idea that the students are probably reading this book to they monitor and study about the life of the successful people in the world. And he found that every successful people have the same habit and conclude to the 7 habits. That the breakdown before you start to be your habit, it starts from 3 circles. What do you think that the most important? The knowledge, skill, or desire? Which one that you think that is most important? Habit is in the middle, but they ask us the knowledge, skill, and desire. That is 3 circles. It will be promoted to be the habit, to your habit. And what do you think? Which one is most important? Sure? Yeah. We will prove together. If possible, everybody please stand up, please. Stand up, please. I will ask you 3 questions. We will prove together. Okay. Which circle is important? I will ask you 3 questions. If the answer is yes, you still stand up. But if the answer is no, you can sit down. Okay? Yeah. Okay. The first question is, everybody know that the exercise is very important for your life? Yes or no?
Yes.
If the answer is yes, you have to stand. Okay. But if the answer is no, sit down. Yes. Okay, the first question is, do you know that the exercise very important for your life? Yes or no?
Yes.
The exercise.
Yes.
Exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second. You can exercise. You can exercise one. That is at least one thing. Some can swim, some can cycling, some can aerobics, some can yoga. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's the last one. You manage your life to exercise every week or every month or every day, and you have to control yourself. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's your exercise every day. That you still exercise every day. Yes or no? If no, you sit down. If yes, you stand. Okay. What kind of your exercise?
It's jogging.
Jogging. How about you? Cycling. Very good. Oh, okay, very good. How about you?
Running.
Running.
Going to the gym. Eating chocolate.
You never be kind for you have the habit of the love of your health. Does it help, guys? Does it? I will show you and prove something for the monitor, because the first question, everybody has the knowledge, because everybody know about that the exercise is very important for your life. That's they have the knowledge. The second one, the skills is the second, because everybody can exercise. But that's many of you is not have the habit to love and take care of your healthy, because that's it, you don't have more desire in your life. That means the habit is, if you want to set the habit for everybody, that you start with the desire. This is my point. The 7 habit we talk about the three. We separate for 3 parts. The first one, we will talk about the self. In the root, we start with the first is a be proactive, that everybody have to they are in charge and they can control themselves, and they have they have the choice to choose and have to responsibility to the choice. The second one, they have the two. We start with begin with the end in mind, that have a plan. Then the third one have the 3 put first things first. We have like most 2 things, very important for 2 things, the campus and the crop. That means you have to manage the time for yourself. That the first 3 habits is about yourself, and if you have this one, you have like a strong root to can work with the other. For the habit 4, we call think win-win. That's the balance with the caring the others and have to can tell that you want. And that is the habit 5. Is I think that's very important for the teacher, because the teacher have to seek first to understand your student, have to listen to your student a lot. It's not talk a lot in class. That means seek first to understand, then to be understood. And for the habit 6 is the synergize. That means have to work together and take the value from the differentiation of the people. That means the 3 habits is help to make a team, have a teamwork. And the last habit we will call champion the soul. The champion the soul is the when you would like to balance your life, and we have 4 dimensions about this. This is to live, you have the healthy, to love, you have the other to love, and you have to learn, because that the knowledge have the time to expire. That means you have to find something to get your lifelong learning. And the last one is to leave a legacy. That means before you die or you cross the world, you have to make something that will benefit for the other. That's make your life value. That's means the champion soul. This is the concept, the short concept of the 7 habits that we want to make the students. protect the student to get the soft skill for the 21st century. And if the teacher want to teach the 7 habits for the student, they have to change their paradigm, because the paradigm of the 7 habits that the teacher have to see the student and believe that every student can be a leader. It's not some, just all, and every student can be a leader. And if the teacher want to change something, you have to think about themselves. That change start with me. And the third paradigm is everyone has a genius, and they have like a differentiation. And the fourth paradigm is educator can empower students to lead their own learning, because the learning is not the teacher, the learning is the student. That means to let them to learning by themselves. And the last one is the teacher has to develop the student, don't only the part of knowledge, but have to develop the whole person. This is the paradigm of the teachers. Then for our school, we want to implement this concept to the student. We have two ways to implementation. The first thing, we have the subject, that the elective subject like 7 habits, and another one, we have the integration for every subject for the all teachers. That is really difficult, because when you have to integrate the new thing and the new ways of thinking of the teacher, that we have the tools, and we found that the lesson study is the tool for us. This is the journal of the lesson study. When I know the lesson study from October 2012 from the EPICA, that is a big conference in Thailand with Dr. Maitri in Brazil. They said about that the teacher have to work together as a group, and for December, that is my principal for that time. Now she is about 90 years old now, and we go to Khon Kaen University and observe the class with the students. And after that, on May 2013, I led our teacher to Khon Kaen University and take the course of the lesson study process. After that, we start the mathematics. We start in the mathematics in primary only. And now for the 2015, I start for mathematics in primary and secondary level. In Thailand for 2015, we have the group of Thailand Principal Forum to be like promote the 7 habits, to promote the lesson study and professional learning community in Thailand. And that is the strong community of the lesson study and PLC in Thailand. That means and from 2016 until now, we integrate that the teacher in the school have like a strong group for the lesson study process from kindergarten until secondary. From even the all teacher, the Thai teacher and the foreigner teacher, they have to make this one. And the research objective, we don't want the teacher to only teach the 7 habits, but I want the teacher to lead this 7 habits, because if they believe that and we have like the result from the this 7 habits, they can teach the student and like a role model of the student. That means we start with develop teacher leadership skills. My research is separate for 3 parts. The first one is the share vision and prepare the teacher with 7 habits workshop. The second phase, we develop a professional learning community through lesson study process to enhance not student skill, just student leadership skill. And the third phase, we implement a professional learning community through lesson study process to enhance teacher and student leadership. For STBN, that is Sathit Bang School, PLC and LS model, we start with the share vision. The share vision with the all stakeholders before the school start that for this academic year, we will integrate the 7 habits, the leadership skill for the all teachers and for the all class in the school. And after that, we have the 7 habits workshop with the all teacher that they have to know about the concept of the 7 habits. After that, we have like a sustainable to develop the teacher. That means the teacher have developed process. They have the group to separate like a class that is from the kindergarten until the secondary level. We have like a master class to run the PLC model every week. And this is the model to working together. Before that, the teacher have to, before they teach, they have to plan together and talk about that, how to integrate the 7 habits in the lesson. That they still teach in the lesson, in their subject, but that is find a way to integrate the 7 habits in their lesson. And after that, they have like observation and recording for that is belong the plan together or not. And after that, we have the time to reflection. That means the teacher have to plan together observation and after that to reflection. And this is the cycle of the model of Satipana school. This one is the picture of the empowering instruction because the teacher have to planning and reflection together. And they have like see about that the teacher, the student leadership in the class and listen about their thinking in the class and have to share the other. Before they start the cycle of the start of the reflection, that the teacher have to talk about the storytelling or that the real when they get the 7 habits into the real life and success something and share to the other. That means the point before we start meeting, every meeting. And this one we will see about the collaborative protocol for the all teacher in the school. And after semester, we have the symposium that every teacher have to share together with the other group of the successful story, and we set the opportunity to the teacher to learn about that the other school. We set the open class, and this is the short video for the open class. We open class on November 13, and we have like 92 teachers from the other school to join this simulation. We open 20 classrooms from the kindergarten until the secondary level. The open class is that the teacher outside have to choose the class that they want to get. ที่จะมาร่วมแลกเปลี่ยนเรียนรู้มาร่วมโอเพนคลาสนะคะAnd after that, when they choose, they have to observe the class for the whole period. when they finish the observation, after that we have the reflection together. That means that everybody can have the learning together and can share the experience with the others. And this is the timeline for our working in the process because every month that the teacher have to plan together and observation and reflection once a month, but they have to meeting once a week. And when end of semester, they have a symposium that the teacher have to learning together and share the idea for the whole school. And we have the open class that the opportunity to share with the other from the outside. That's in the cycling of the methodology. And for the model about this, that the way that they talk about it, the way of develop process. The student have to think about how to student-led learning because that we tell you that the student is the owner of the learning, of that learning, that the teacher don't they have to think about how to promote the learning of the student. For the administrator, is not only the ordering, but the administrator to the sub-party participate for the observation and reflection in the professional learning community, or the support the material, or for the teacher needs the resource provide the specialist if they want, if the teacher wants. That means that's the duty of the administrator. Okay. And for the result, the teacher improved for 3 parts. The first thing we talk about that the awareness of the teacher. When end of the semester, we found that the teacher have the awareness to get the leadership from their self and want to teach the leadership for the student. And another one is the motivation. The last one is the teacher behavior, because that's in the school we found that the culture of the helping each other in the school. That means the trend of the improvement of the leadership of the student. For the finding that the teacher saw the change of the teacher relationship and the factor to promote good relationship in the community. That's why the factor that the teacher have the openness of the teacher's mind and executive support. And the barrier program, the teacher said that the culture of work in the school and unfamiliarity of the process and the workload of the teachers. And the first one that they will be able to create a strong lasting relationship with their colleagues. And the last one is the ability to lead effectively is based on a number of the skills, including communication, motivation, vision modeling, demonstrating empathy, confidence, persistence, and integrity. And conclusion that the teachers improve their skill in coordination, because if they have to be proactive, they have the growth mindset. And if they have have the truth within in mind and prefer being first, they have to go directed. And the group work, if we put it, they have the 4, 5, and 6 that they need 6 to understand, then to be understood and synergize. And the last one, if they have each other resolve, they have the good life. This is my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Any question, please?
Okay, thanks very much, Sheila. I was wondering why you chose that, say, framework, if you like, or book, or, those ideas, as opposed to other ideas for developing teaching and learning.
The idea.
Why those 7 habits?
because that the school want to develop the soft skill. In Thailand have like again they have the standard of the soft skill, but they don't know way to develop them. And before that doesn't have it like international standard, and they have to help the students successful, and we talk together and choose that to promote to the student, because we believe that if the student start from the younger from the kindergarten is have opportunity to be the successful in the future.
So is this everywhere, or where is it being used?
That's we start from the kindergarten.
In the district or?
No, just our school.
In your school, okay,
Yeah.
okay, so it's your local teacher, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I find it very interesting and very brave endeavor to really promote leadership for both students and teachers. Yet I found it's very complicated, I have to say. And then I can see three perhaps different ways you have interpreted leadership. So that's why my question for you is how you can actually define leadership. Does it mean having 7 habits equals to good leadership? This is my first question. And then in your evaluation about the teacher's progress, you show another frameworks, including their awareness, their behavior, and the motivation, right? So that's another set. And why did you actually evaluate, their leadership in this way? And the last one, actually, I quite agree to your slide. The slide before, I think it's the last one, but the previous one. No, I'm sorry, the previous one. No, 2 more. No, after that, sorry. Should be the last but one. Talking about the challenges you have, the barriers and the problems. Because I think number 5 can be a very good framework about, the components of leadership. Communication, motivating others, setting up the vision, role modeling, demonstrate good practice, and empathize, confidence. This can be another framework of leadership. So yeah, so that is a little bit complicated. And also my next question will be whether integrated into the mathematics, what is the changes? What are the changes before the leadership and after the leadership in mathematics teaching? Because you mentioned you made it integrated in mathematics only, right? Not in other subjects. Yeah. And last question, whether having leadership skill will lead to happy lives? Because I like the slide where you mentioned that you want the children to be happy. Yeah. So whether they are equal.
I'm not sure that they can remember all the questions. But I try to the answer, because that I start the 7 habits. That means for this slide, we after the process, we interview the teacher that what you think about that when you already do this process for the whole semester, whole year, and then after that, this is the finding from opinion, the teacher opinion. That means maybe for the next maybe the next method, or that is have to study next about that. And for the this is the first for your first question. And another thing is when that the second is you asked about that.
I asked
the mathematics. That's the last one.
Yeah, mathematics. Yeah.
When we use the mathematics, they focus only the thinking skill of the student. I show the example of the grade 2 student when they have how to teach the student to show about that how much the water in the class, that they don't know about the water. That means they have to use the mathematics method to solve the problem. but the teacher have to integrate to literacy that the to literacy the chapter or habit inside for the student that the teacher have to talk about that if the student that if they wash their hand, they use that the water, how much that they use the water, and if that everybody wash their hand, that how much that the water that they use, and if don't save the water, what happen in the world? That we talk about this in the mathematics class. That means when we integrate the student habit, is make they think about and care the other more than only mathematics.
I think we need more specific elements when you tell stories. I think it can be clearer to really show us what do you mean by leadership skills inside the classroom. Basically, I can see from your three phrases, right? The first one is the 7 habits. The second one is thinking skills, and then the last one is the leadership. So for me, I cannot find the linkage between the 7 habits and the leadership. Whether the 7 habits is an approach, leadership is the end, then you might need another definition about leadership.
Okay, and now you can link that. Okay, thank you.
It's time.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.